And the Jays hit the road for a 7-game set, beginning tonight with a 4-game series against the Yankees.
Or as George likes to call them, the evil empire. So they're coming off a big win against the Orioles yesterday. We're joined live now by TSN Radio's Matt Cause. Matt, great to see you, and you're in such a serious setting today. I'm almost a little shocked. I wasn't sure it was you. Let's talk.
I love it. I'm not at home. I'm not in my living room talking to you on my stupid phone. This is great.
Very refreshing. So, Matt, let's talk about the Jays. Finally beat the Orioles last night, 6-1. And we know that Ross Stripling, he's back after his glute injury. Is he the secret sauce now going forward?
He absolutely is, and it's funny to think about a guy that we didn't really put a lot of expectations to at the beginning of the season. Now with Kikuchi going down to the bullpen, the injury to Hyun-Jin Ryu, and Barrios having a really bad season, suddenly Ross Stripling goes from an afterthought to a guy who's going to be critical for the Blue Jays down the stretch as they are fighting with teams like Seattle and Tampa to have the #1 wild card. And he was great. He was fantastic yesterday. Perfect game through 6 innings.
Okay, so Matt, here's the deal. We got to talk about playoffs here.
Well, yeah, right now, I think this team is going to be in the playoffs, partially because they did expand it. They did expand it last year, and the Jays are a really good team. I think the reason we're so emotional about them and their recent slump is because we went in with such high expectations. They were the odds-on favorite to come out of the American League when the season begun, but then the Yankees just had that rocket start, and the Jays have been up and down. They haven't been as good. Players like Bo Bichette hasn't had the season this year that he did last year, so there's been a lot of scuffling. But this is a legitimate playoff team if they can get their bats in order between now and the start of the playoffs.
Yes, and they take on the Yankees next.
Yeah.
We know that the Yankees are struggling as well, and we know that, in terms of hitting, they've been pretty consistent with, Vladdy and Kirk. But what about the pitching? If you had your choice of a lineup, what would it be?
If I had my choice, it would be Jose Barrios from last year. It would start there. The thing is, Kevin Gausman and Alek Manoah have been great. It's everyone outside of that. And the team is really going to need Barrios to be the guy he was last year. And it's nice to see what Ross Stripling is doing, but Ross is a guy usually will only go about 5 innings, usually at most. He went 6, then got in a bit of trouble in the 7th. You mentioned the Yankees, and you're right, they are struggling as well. They won in dramatic fashion yesterday. The Jays won in dramatic fashion. Both these teams had this cathartic win, so it's going to be fascinating to see which team, we always use the cliche momentum. Well, which one will use the momentum of wins from yesterday and be able to carry over? It's a 4-game series. I don't think the Jays can catch the Yankees. It's more about if the Jays can keep the first wild card. That is the critical thing for this team.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Okay, so Matt, let's shift. Let's talk about basketball. LeBron, an almost $100 million contract.
Yeah, it's a 2-year extension that kicks in after this year. The second year is a player extension. It's around like $97 million. LeBron James has now leapfrogged over Kevin Durant for the most guaranteed money ever paid via salary to an NBA player. He's over $500 million. It's well worth it. LeBron was had his second best scoring season last year at the age of like 37, 38. He had another remarkable year. Him and Tom Brady are the two athletes who have decided that time is not really a factor to their bodies. These guys just keep doing it year in and year out. It's well-deserved. Now, if only they can put together a proper roster around LeBron James of the Lakers, then maybe he'll do some more winning.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable. Highest paid NBA player in history. Over
Deservedly.
Jordan. Oh, my gosh. Wow. Okay, Matt, let's finish off with some hockey. Nazem Kadri, where's he going?
It looks like Nazem Kadri is going to be signing a deal with the Calgary Flames, a free agent we all thought was going to be signed way earlier than this. It looks like 7 years, hearing from Darren Dreger. And think about this for a Calgary Flames team that lost Johnny Gaudreau, that lost Matthew Tkachuk. It seemed like that team was going in one direction. Then they get Huberdeau from Florida. Now if they get Kadri, it has been a real up and down summer for the Calgary Flames. Kadri, basically a point-per-game guy, will be one of their top forwards, one of their top centers. A great deal for Calgary, and Kadri comes back to Canada.
Wow, yeah, that's a pretty good homecoming for us.
Absolutely.
TSN Radio's Matt Cause. Hey, Matt, you are great in any setting. Take care.
Thanks,
I want
Matt.
to come in studio. Thanks so much.